know what's happening. And that's what made him the second most powerful man under the king. We're not going to get into scripture, but remember, they called him a king in this, not Pharaoh. This is not Pharaoh. In fact, the other literature, not to get off the subject, but other literature suggested that this king, this was during a period when Egypt was taken over by people that was kind of like Yusuf, right up there, you know, around Jerusalem and all of that. They had took over Egypt. So when Yusuf come on the scene, they could recognize this boy here might be from our tribe and stuff like that, almost, you know. He's definitely from our area, Amalekites, all of the people I came from, all that. But anyway, when they run this is not a history lesson, but when they run the Bani Israel out of Egypt, that's when a nationalistic group had taken over. Now Pharaoh is back. And then they put them in slavery. But at first, remember, they was welcome. Just come on in. Anyway, they was immigrants. A vision which had a deep underlying significance. This shows that according to the Holy Quran, revelation in its lower forms is the common experience of all mankind, of the unbelievers as well as believers, of the sinner as well as the saint. Now remember, out of the three, we're talking about those two levels. Minwari hijab, that's the highest form for human being. When you hear something in a dream or a trance-like, okay. The third kind, which is particular to the prophets of Allah, is that which the angel Jibril brings, the divine message in words. This is the surest and clearest form of revelation. And such was the revelation of the Quran to the Holy Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is called Wahi Matlu, or revelation that is recited in words. It is the highest and most developed form of revelation. And it was in this form that revelation was granted to all the prophets of Allah, Noah, Abraham. Okay. Now we'll get a little bit to what we was talking about. Does anybody remember that we talked the other day about dream manipulation? Dream manipulation. That is, with practice, with a lot of practice, you can be dreaming and not wake up all the way, but enough to manipulate your dream to where you ain't falling off no cliff and never hit the bottom, or somebody chasing you. No. You can manipulate your dream. Let me explain. If we have things that are very serious going on the earth, if there are instances where certain things is not haphazard, they clearly have been represented. Like if we had talked about, well, there won't be no Arab Spring. Forget it. That, you know, we was talking, you can forget, there won't be no Arab Spring. And that Iran is improving, but the world is traveling at 100 and they're traveling at 40. So they're not keeping up. They are evolving, but they're evolving behind the curve. I don't know how many lectures we've given on that subject. If we had the invasion of Lebanon in 2006, right? And we have a whole set of CDs called Bashirun. That's good news. But the first week, nobody called that good news. But we have 3 khutbahs calling it from the day they got there, not after a while. They blew up oil dumps and spilled oil all into the Mediterranean, all kind of just evil stuff. We said, that's good news. Nobody, at that time, nobody believed it. But we were never hesitant about it. In fact, those are strong khutbahs. No, it ain't going to be no Arab Spring. Don't make no difference what you think about it. Forget that. No Arab Spring. The invasion of Lebanon is good news. Good news. Don't make no difference whether you like it or not, but it's good news. Other stuff, it seems simple, but the outline of protracted struggle, it'll be some temporary gain, but it'll be wiped away, and then there'll be huge struggle. Now, for us to say that is one thing, but for it to be written down and to sit back and watch it go through, now if I'm lying, it has gone through the exact outline. The regional vision, at that time it was national vision. Everybody was talking about Egypt over here. They're talking about Saudi Arabia over there, Yemen over there. Well, technically in those days they were talking about that was Libya. Okay. They just got started on Syria. Of course, Iran and Iraq, they've always been in the mix. But we was clear on it. It's going to be a regional vision. Then it's going to be regional consolidation of vision and power, and then final victory. Let's kind of tell the truth about those type of things. You can be accidental from time to time and catch something right. But you can't have a 40-year history, actually that's 10 on from Jahiliyyah. Because Allah do invest some people. It's clear. This is what Revelation is talking about. Ain't no, forget about prophethood. Ain't no prophet. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Khatam and Nabiyyin. Khatam, the seal of luck. Ain't nobody coming after that. With that revelation on that level, that's all over. But minwari hijab, in a trance, from behind a veil, some ilham, like technically it's said, inspiration is true. That's why we wanted to read it from the text, so that we're not making anything up, or even though we know it, we want to make sure that when this thing is recorded, that everybody will have hopefully a unified picture, a realistic picture of what we're talking about. Okay? People in general do not have confidence in Negroes, because sometimes they blow it, you know what I mean? take something that should be valuable, like history, like the little opportunities we have now. We don't make no, you turn on TV, they got Empire, they got all this stuff to do. It's not real, you know what I mean? And you see in Negroes, but they don't have no power. And anyone that tries to get some, East Coast rappers, West Coast rappers, Barry Gordy and them, pretty soon somebody done bought them out or killed them out. That's just the way it is. Some of the sports people are finally using a little bit of their wealth, but it's not being used in a consolidated, focused way. You know, collective for the masses. Dream manipulation is real. When you have a goal, you have a destiny, and all of it is from a religious base. Ain't none of it, this too Sufified or too Salafified. It's not any of those. It's right down the middle. And if anybody listened to it, they would remember those messages. Okay. Dream manipulation means that you have a vision, ruya, you have some inspiration into how things are happening. Let me use it one more time so we'll stay on track. O my sustainer, thou hast indeed bestowed upon me something of power, and has imparted unto me some knowledge of the inner meaning of happenings. Originator of the heavens and the earth, thou art near unto me in this world and the life to come. Let me die as one who has surrendered himself unto thee, and make me one of the righteous. So his door is clear. He know he has some power. He know he's been given some inspiration about how things are working. He knows that. It was said that at the beginning of the surah, and now he's at the end of the surah. He's thanking Allah for Allah giving him that. You know what I mean? Because remember, when he was down in that well, he was still getting it. He got inspiration down there. Just hold on. You're going to come. All this going to be all right. Don't have to worry about it. Just stay singing, stay together. And you never see him shilly-shallying around. Now he's thanking Allah for insight, for hindsight, for a general knowledge about the world and how it's working. And let me be raised up amongst the good and the righteous. So it's clear he ain't going to go astray. Right? He's not going to let anything slip up on him. When the girls tried to get him, he asked Allah, take me away from these, because I'm leaning their way. Right? Remember that? He's leaning, man, these is tenders here. Of course, I'm still young now. I ain't getting old yet. I may be getting up there in a while. But right now, hey, man, it's clear in the Quran, if you remember, to relieve him of that pressure. You know, so when the lady come and charge him, he clean as a whistle. He ain't did nothing. He wasn't thinking about nothing. He didn't want nothing. Okay. The Quran is our guide. There are forces in nature. Angels are said to be forces in nature, among other things. But the wind, there's an angel in charge of the wind, all of that. They keep all that moving in harmony. Have anybody ever heard of Haints? Anybody ever seen one? We was over on 8th Street, and I was talking about Haints in the cookbook. The lady from Mississippi, she was sitting up against the wall. She looked around at all the other girls and said, "Y'all don't know about Haints, do you?" They said, "No." I was in California, and might have been up in the 90s. I asked everybody, I was saying it normal about Haints. So Abdul Malik said, "I ain't here." So I asked, "None of y'all ever seen no Haints?" I said, "No." I said, "Do y'all know what Haints are?" The one girl from Louisiana. Are they ghosts-like? I said, "That's close enough." So, when my mother passed away, you know, I'm the youngest in my family. So Sister Bahia went back with me to the funeral. And everybody there, I'm the youngest out of all the aunts and uncles, cousins, everybody there. And so they was talking about Haints, and my oldest brother, he said, "Yeah, my first Haint I saw had white shoes on." And just, you know, everybody knew their first Haint, like their first girlfriend. You know when now. I guess I'm supposed to be modern. But technically, I saw a Haint. You can't tell me I didn't see no Haint. I was 4 years old. That's a little young. But everybody in the society saw Haints in those days. Modern society, electric lights, you ain't even ain't nobody seen no Haints. Even in places like Egypt, when old women they done all saw jinns and stuff. You ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
They are, look.
Africans always see them.
They look, I don't care what you say. No, those are jinns. That's how goes with jinns. Okay. A lot of that stuff from olden times is so modern that people, I'm telling you, in my family, and everybody saw Haints. They talked about them like, I said, "Daddy, when you seen your first Haint?" He said, "Well, when I was 18, I saw my first Haint." He said, "Yeah." "Well, how you know it was a Haint?" He said, "It was a ledge, you know, at the river. It's a ledge." He said the ledge wouldn't hold a man. So it had to be immaterial. So it was a Haint. But now they saw Haints all the time. It was regular. Now, Haints didn't hurt white black people. You just be walking by, and there's a Haint. You know it's a Haint. I asked my father, "What did you do when you saw your first Haint?" He said, "I had a 38, and I told him, I said, if you get to messing with me, I'm going to take you out of here." Of course, it's a immaterial being. But that's the way you feel at 18, you know. So I said, okay. But I didn't need no convincing. None. Why? Because I didn't see a Haint. I almost feel like telling you why I know it was a Haint. I'll just tell you since you were here. It was a big road. You know, this is right at our house. And it was an old lady. She jumped across the road. So, yeah, well, I didn't have to ask no question. Someone was saying, because a human being can't do that. You know, you can't jump across the road. She had a big apron on, like I tell you, the old Dutch cleanser woman. Remember that big apron she had come on? That the woman had. I never seen Dutch cleanser in my life, but that's the way she looked. And she jumped across the road. That's the only Haint I ever seen, because then we moved to California when I was 6, so you don't see Haints out there. I don't know whether it's the weather, I don't know what it is. But there are things in all of our histories that are common amongst peoples at a certain time in history. There's a certain time in our history, everybody in the South saw Haints. Hardly nobody in the North. No, just when they get up there, or when we get out to California, but that environment, let's not try to figure it out whether it's the natural environment. Everybody see them, so that's the way that is. All I'm telling you is, all the old people that I knew, all of them, every last one of them, saw Haints. What does that have to do with us right now? And the mission that we're on. When Allah says He'll assist you with avenues or ways that you couldn't even imagine. Okay. So probably we're way up in what we're doing. We've been surrounded 100%, let's say for 40 years, but technically for 50 years. And all that time, they have time to get to everybody. Friends, family, forget it. They figure out how to get to everybody to tell them whatever they need to tell for them to stay away from here, right? They've already done that. Not one time, many, many times. And whatever they tell the people, it works. It's like they're doing a research project to study each person, each group, and tell them whatever